Okay, hello everyone. I am Aryan Mehra. I welcome you all to today's session. Okay, so today we will be discussing. We have left like 25 days for our exam of CUET 2022. All of you must be preparing hard for this exam, and now last 1 month is left. So this exam has already been extended too much, and you guys are preparing from too long. And when you prepare for too long, there is a state of negativity, and that comes into your mind. Today I will also try to get you out of that so that you can have a fresh mindset regarding this exam, and for last 25 months you can have a fresh perspective about the exam. So let's begin. So number one thing which I want to mention here is which is very important. Let's start with that is what are the important subjects, what are the important topics, and what are the topics that are not actually very important and you can leave those topics. So number one thing I would say is in mathematical methods, prepare this very well. There are many questions that are going to come from this. So it is very important. So put it as a star. Each and every topic of mathematical method is important. So what you should do in mathematical methods? Okay. So number one thing which you need here is revise formula. Okay, revise formula. There is not going to be very tough questions which are going to come for mathematical methods. So what kind of questions that will come? That is, let's say we pick a topic, Jacobian. You just need a simple thing that what is Jacobian and how it is used in the questions. If you do the 2 or 3 previous year questions, that's enough. For example, Taylor expansion. What is the formula for Taylor expansion? How you expand any functions? Not just that. When do we expand the Taylor functions? Means what kind of function we should have if we want to do the Taylor expansion. Similarly, for Fourier series, there are some Dirichlet conditions which you should do. So that is important. So if you have a very basic reading, why we are doing Fourier series and what are the conditions for that, what are the formulas. There are many formulas in Fourier series. For example, Parseval's theorem is also there. There are some theorems like that. So the direct formula based question can come, so that you should remember all those formulas. And I would suggest that have one formula sheet in front of you, that whatever formulas you think you are forgetting or you have to revise it again and again, write that in formula sheet. Keep writing along with your preparation, keep writing that. And that formula sheet must not be more than 4 or 5 pages. It must only have those formulas which you are forgetting. Okay, not any other formula. Do not write each and every formula of syllabus, only those formulas which you are forgetting. Then comes vector algebra, vector calculus. Then a very simple kind of questions: how to apply Green's theorem, how to apply Stokes theorem. What is a mathematical statement of Green's theorem? What is a mathematical statement of Stokes theorem? So I would suggest currently is uh, do not pick any new books. Okay, so let's say you have studied Stokes theorem or Green's theorem from whatever resource you have studied. Keep only revise that resource. Do not pick up any new uh, book. I cannot uh, believe on you if you say that you have never studied Stokes theorem. You must have studied at some point of time. So just revise whatever book you have studied. In that book, if you have to study any extra topic, that is not a problem, because you have the idea that how to read this book. You can study 2 or 3 extra topics, but do not pick entirely new book or entirely new some material or something like that. Okay, if you are getting short notes or something, that is okay, but not the book or material itself. Now comes matrices and determinants. If you know what are the kinds of matrices, what are the properties of rank, what are the properties of eigenvalues, eigenvectors, okay, what is Hermitian matrix, what is unitary matrix, what is unitary transformation, all these kind of things, whatever book you have studied, that it must have those all topics. And then comes algebra of complex numbers, a very simple class 11 topic is it. So give a good enough time to mathematical physics, it is going to give you very good marks. If you miss even one question from mathematical physics, it is not a very good thing. There are some topics like hidden topics like calculus. For example, series questions are coming, or convergence, divergence, radius of convergence questions. Those questions which you think that you have never studied a theory for this question, you can leave that. Okay, no problem in that, because there are some 1 or 2 questions in mathematical physics will be there which will be very tough and you cannot study for that. Okay, so leave those, but other than that, revise very well. Then comes the mechanics. I would suggest you to number one thing is Start your revision with the topics like uh, which are standard topics. For example, pseudo forces. Okay, here if I try to uh, mark what is pseudo force topic right here is, then you will see this uniformly rotating frame. Sorry, let me just uniformly rotating frame, centrifugal and Coriolis force. Okay, this is actually we call it as pseudo forces. So what are the basic formulas? And based on a very basic formula, how you put on your problem means simple problem is given and how you apply and find the Coriolis force. Okay, and so on other forces also. Then comes central force, very important chapter, central force and gravitation. Okay, so have why very important, because this form from this many questions directly can come. For example, elliptical orbits, what is the energy in elliptical orbit, what is an angular momentum in elliptical orbit, and so on. And you need a very basic simple formulas. If you will start deriving those formulas in the exam, you know the time is limited and you must have those formulas on your fingertips. So what you can do is, if you think these formulas are not getting you can't remind those, so write it in formula sheet and keep revising those. So you must have 4 or 5 sheets pages formula sheet which you are revising every day and every day. Okay, so that it's going to help you. Similarly, then I think there are some, I would suggest everyone of you that for fluid mechanics we have to go one step ahead. There are some fluid mechanics topics, kinematics of moving fluids, equation of. So for that, only the jam perspective is not enough. The questions are coming, but questions are very easy. So what I would suggest for you, this for this thing, I would say that go and read class 11th fluid mechanics chapter of NCERT. Just read the entire chapter. Even if you have not read it before, or even if you have not studied this, I would say it will take one day. So have a schedule of one day and read this, because it is going to give you two questions, 8 marks. So if something is going to give you 8 marks, you can easily spend one day on that. And there are many things which you need to remind in this book. So it is better that you do it immediately, so that by 20 days, next 20 days, you can revise one more, two more times this chapter, and then this chapter is fine. Because here only three things are written. CUET syllabus is also same. So don't confuse it with the IIT JAM. Both have the same syllabus. So kinematics of moving fluids, equation of continuity, Euler equation, Bernoulli theorem. But many other questions are also coming. Okay. So I think they will also come this year. So for example, viscosity, how viscosity depends upon velocity and so on. These kind of things are coming, and these all things are mentioned in class 11th NCERT. Other than that, I will not suggest you anything. Other than that, there is only one thing which you should revise, that is rotational motion and your angular momentum and center of mass. So in that entire chapter, if you see center of mass, equation of motion, conservation of linear and angular momentum, conservation of energy, and so on. So in this, you first of all need how to find center of mass, what is the formula for center of mass. Okay, number one thing is done. For different bodies, what is the center of mass? For triangle, what is the center of mass? For cuboid, what is that? And so on, so on. There are many formulas. If you do have not studied it, go and open HC Verma book. It's very easy, very easy. Only read the theory. It's only 6-7 page theory, and there are some examples given, and that's it. Center of mass, your topic will be done. Then comes your angular momentum. In terms of angular momentum, you know there are some formulas like L equals to R cross P, and there are different definitions of angular momentum and so on. Again, if you haven't studied that, go read HC Verma. But I would suggest you go read. HC Verma is not such a book which you have reading for first time. You must have read it sometime in your life, or even if not, it's a very simple book. And then comes the topic like a moment of inertia. So what is moment of inertia? What are the value? What is the value of moment of inertia for different bodies? Very simple question can come. Rolling motion, a object is rolling down an inclined plane. This kind of problems, if you are doing the previous year question, have done the previous year questions, I think you must have got an idea what kind of questions can come, and if you can understand the concept of those questions, it is fine. But the things to revise here is, what is moment of inertia for different bodies, what is the formula for moment of inertia, what are the units of moment of inertia, and things like that. How and the formula like tau equals to I omega and something I alpha, and omega is equals to, so such formulas of rotational motions are there which you should know. At least formulas you should know, so that whenever question comes, you have an idea in mind that yes, these kind of questions can come. So what is not an important topic in this is Newton's law. In fact, I won't say Newton's law is very important topic. The question can come, but I don't think so. You should revise entire collisions, Newton's laws, kinematics, all of that things. Do not spend your time on that. You must have enough knowledge for that. Leave that. One thing which I want to mention here is velocity and acceleration in Cartesian polar coordinate system. So I have given notes for this. If you don't have those notes, arrange it somewhere and I like search on YouTube or something like that and do this topic. Because direct questions I have seen while solving the previous year questions, I see that they are asking direct questions. What is the velocity in polar coordinates? Direct question. So you must have the formula like that. Perfect. Now coming to forward, oscillations, waves and optics. I would say it is a medium subject. The questions are not coming in too detail, but also they are not missing out this. So in this, what is important is oscillation in itself is not very important. Uh, you can avoid doing oscillations for very tough topics like fluid, the block in or fluid and so on. There are some problems like that. So leave those. There are not requirement for that. But what is an equation of oscillation? What is a equation of simple harmonic oscillation? That is an important thing. Then the properties and the features of simple harmonic motion. What is a formula for energy? What is a time period? What is the actually velocity? What is a phase difference between position and velocity? Okay, so there are 7-8 parameters of the simple harmonic motion which we find, and you have studied, all of you have studied in the class 11th. Even if you had not studied, you can easily study from any notes of class 11th, or even I have given the notes in my course. Okay. Now, moving forward, there is a very important topic which is superposition of two or more harmonic oscillations. I would recommend you, if you have not studied this topic ever in your life, leave it. But if you have even studied little bit, read it very well. I have also taken the YouTube video. I have uploaded the YouTube video on this topic, so I would recommend you to watch this. So, because questions are coming, and it is a very good topic, it will also help you in solving the problems of polarization. So, it is an important topic. And for that you have to follow NK Bajaj book, and the entire guidance manual is actually available for which topic which book is needed, but still I am repeating it. But this is an important topic. I would suggest that it is a BSc topic and maybe questions will directly come from this, and it actually required some understanding. It is not actually a formula based topic. Okay, then Lissajous figures, you know, there is only one formula that you need. What is a ratio of frequencies? If the Lissajous figure is given to you, only thing that you need. And when does the Lissajous figures are made? Okay, when does actually Lissajous figures come into the picture? So that you must know. Then damped and forced oscillators, questions are coming, but not a very important topic. If you are in my course, I have given the notes. You can read those notes, very good made notes. Only those notes will be enough. If you're not in the course, I won't suggest you to read in a separate book for this. Very tough topic to read by yourself and not very beneficial topic. But yeah, I won't suggest my students to at least leave this, because I have provided you notes and you must use those. So waves equations, traveling and standing wave in one dimension, energy density, transmission in waves. So wave is quite a very simple topic. So you must know what is wave, and everyone knows, but at least have some revision. Class 11th notes or class 12th notes. If you have not, you are not able to find those notes or such anything like that, leave it. But I think wave equation, everyone must know what is wave equation. It's very simple. If I give you some wave, what is its phase velocity? What is its group velocity? That. If I give you some wave, what is its energy density? Okay. If I give you sinusoidal wave or plane wave, how do you find its energy density? And what is actually energy density? Okay, so this is a very simple. And how is standing waves formed? When it is bounded between the two walls, the standing waves are formed. What is the condition for that standing wave? Simple. And then if you have standing wave, there are some words like nodes. There is some words like modes, different modes, each wavelength, each mode, and one mode and two mode and three mode, such things. Okay, energy of each mode, things like that. Very simple, direct question can come. But I would say waves is not a very important topic. But question will definitely come. One question will definitely come. But if one question is coming from 75, we would say it's not very important topic. Phase and group velocity, definitely one question is going to come and only one formula is needed. You know, phase velocity is omega by k and group velocity is d omega by dk. Only this formula is required, but only understanding you must have is what is actually phase velocity and what is actually group velocity. And I would suggest you to do this assignment, that what is a phase and group velocity for photon moving in a straight line. Okay, so it's a very good thing. So then it actually proves that photon is made of group of waves, not just a single wave. So this thing you should look, and this is also given in book like Arthur Beiser and also in Modern Physics by R.B. Singh. This you should do, and questions will definitely come, and then you will say that sir has told that this question will come, and definitely come. Sound waves in media. So in sound waves, nothing more is important, only Doppler effect is required. The formula of Doppler effect must be clearly in your mind. And also you should know that when in Doppler effect, medium also starts to move. Let's say there is a source, there is a sound, but also in between there is an air which is moving. So then how Doppler effect is changing. So that formula you must also have in mind. Fermat principle, nothing, only statement is required, and it has never come in exam, but you should remind that statement. It's just one line statement. General theory of image formation, thick lenses. If you haven't done ray optics till now, I would suggest you to do following topics in ray optics. So let me write those. So number one thing in ray optics which you require is uh, image formation. What is image formation? You know there are lenses and you know there are mirrors. Okay, so study what are the different kinds of lenses and what are the different kind of mirrors. What are their properties? Okay, then you know there is a lens equation, and there is a mirror equation. Okay, okay, and then you should know that if it is a lens, if I place it on the focal length, where my image will be formed. If I place it away from focal length, where my image will be formed. If I place it between f and o, where my image will be formed. And you should do this for all the lenses. Okay, if you go on and search on Google, you will find that image formation. So you should, it will be summarized in one photo, that for all lenses they would have given the image formation, and you should only do that. One for lenses and one for mirrors. Image formation. Number two topics which you need is again magnification. Okay, what is the formula for magnification and how you actually find the magnification. Number three topic which you need is lens maker's formula. Very important. Lens maker's formula is very, very important. Other than that, all of the other things, like one more thing is in total internal reflection, TIR, and this, only these four topics if you do, that's enough. Nothing else is required in ray optics, and ray optics in itself is not a very important topic. But if you can easily cover this topic in one day, you can cover ray optics. Okay, then moving forward, interference, extremely important topic. If you have not studied it, spend at least 2-3 days in studying this. Okay, and if you are completely looking forward to complete the syllabus in 1 month, then you should, I would strongly recommend you to take the self-study course. Okay, short notes will be given to you and you should read that. If you have your own notes for interference, it's very fine, you read those notes. Okay, and properly solve the previous year questions. And I would suggest for interference, polarization and diffraction, please solve IIT JAM questions also. Again, revise those questions. Previous year questions you should thoroughly revise for optics. Okay, and because the similar questions are coming, I have seen the same questions are coming in JAM, CUET, which are there was in the JAM. Not the entire questions, but the concept extracted out from those questions. Similarly, diffraction is extremely important topic. Polarization is extremely important topic. You must know each and everything, like half wave plates, full wave plates. In diffraction, diffraction due to single slit, then diffraction due to n slits, which become actually grating. What are the formulas for grating? What is resolution? What is Rayleigh criteria? Direct questions are going to come. What is Rayleigh criteria? There will be 4 options and one will be correct. Similarly, for polarization, there will be two equations will be given, E1, E2, and they will say if they superimpose, what will be the net polarization? It will be circular, elliptical, planar. What is the, and such questions. In interference, they will say, okay, what is this means? If I change the slit width, what will happen? So things like that. Very conceptual. Also, formula based questions will come from optics. Very important. Optics is very important. Electricity and magnetism. Oh, now this is a tricky topic. So I will say that I will explain that how you can actually do it smartly, because for most of you, I would say, is this will make some troubles. So some part I have made it easier by giving the notes in the course, but some part you have to bury, means I can't make it so easy for you, because okay, so there is one thing. Number one thing is chapter 2 chapter 2 of Griffiths, which is there for electrostatics. Now for starters, what you can do is only solve the problems, okay, examples, and read the book. If you have never read this book, do not read now. Whatever you have read for electrostatics, read that, or either take the course and read the short notes. Nothing. If you have never read Griffiths, do not read. If you will read now, it will create some problems. So I do not want you to have that problems. Next thing, there are some topics from where questions are coming, and it's extremely important topic, that is polarization. Okay, uh, the thing Laplace equation, which we say Griffiths chapter 3 and 4. It is also called advanced electrostatics. For that also you have the notes in the course, but if you have not read this topic before from book or whatever, and you do not have access to those notes which I have provided, then do not study this. Chapter 3, 4 you should leave, but chapter 2 of Griffiths, if you do not study Griffith as such, but whatever topics in that is in the Griffith, you read from wherever you have read before. Let's say in BSc you have followed some book, follow that book again and read it. It's important. If you are going without studying, go slow, without going electric field and potential, what is the energy stored in electric field, what is boundary conditions. If you go without that, then you are going to miss out many things. So I think if you have, let's say you are very new for electricity magnetism, which is very improbable. You have given JAM and you are preparing for 6 months now after JAM also. So what I would suggest you is, whatever you have read, please revise it. And if you can't, then revise through previous year questions. So solve all the previous year questions, whatever the concepts that are coming, do that do those topics. Okay. Then comes magnetostatics, chapter number 5 of Griffiths. Magnetostatics is also very important, very important. Chapter 2 and chapter 5 are extremely important for Griffiths. But from last 2-3 years, chapter 3, 4 are also coming in very good amount. For those, I have given the notes. See those notes. Okay, now coming to forward. Then comes the equation which is called Faraday's law. There is one Faraday law, only one, and you should know how to use that. Simple. What is a statement? What is integral equation? What is differential equation for that? And how to use that? Simple as that. And then comes the EM waves. EM waves is the most tricky part. Okay. If you have never studied EM waves in your entire life, at least go through the Maxwell equations. At least go through that. But I would suggest you, please do EM waves, because I think if you do EM waves, it will going to give you good marks. And it is actually simple questions are coming from EM waves. You only need formulas. Okay. And if you are actually preparing entirely for 1 month, you need preparation, join the course. Okay. And if you have notes for yourself in BSc, read those. Those will also work fine. But make sure that do not go beyond the limit. Sometimes in BSc, they also taught you the interface transmission reflection at different angles, not just normal incidents, but at other angles also. Do not read all those kind of things. Okay, make sure that you are not reading. And if you can't do anything like that or something like that, then at least do previous year questions. Because I won't suggest anyone to leave EM waves, but I won't also suggest you that if you have not studied Griffiths, start reading Griffiths. That is going to deviate you entirely from the preparation. Look for the shorter paths. That without reading Griffiths, how can I cover that? If you have read Griffiths before, then it's good. Re-revise it, but not new. Then kinetic theory and thermodynamics, I would suggest the most important part of this is actually thermodynamics. So you should have an entire grasp of all the formulas of thermodynamics. If you don't have that formula sheet, what you do is do all the previous year questions of JAM and I CUET and make the formula sheet. Whatever the formulas are being used, there are many formulas like Joule thermal expansion, okay, Clausius-Clapeyron equations, and first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics. I would suggest you there are four Maxwell equations, Maxwell equations, Maxwell relations, sorry, in thermodynamics. Remind those, remember those very well. Every year question is coming from Maxwell relations. There are four options and they are saying which of them is correct or which of them is incorrect. So both kind of questions can come. So remember four Maxwell relations. There are thermodynamic potentials. What are thermodynamic potentials? What are the four thermodynamic potentials? What are their properties? What are their definitions? What are their mathematical formulas? This much you should know. Okay, and the students of my group, you have the formula sheet in the Google Drive. Look at that. Each and every formula should be on your fingertip. If you have that in mind, then nothing else is required. Other than that, first law of thermodynamics, dq equals to du plus dw. This you know, already know. What does each term have the meaning? Which of this is means work? What is it's a state function or not? Internal energy is a state function or not? Okay, things like that. Kinetic theory is not extremely important, but yes, question is coming. So kinetic theory also, I would say whatever you have studied before. For kinetic theory, I have also, I think I have provided some free notes in the group. The new latest notes I have given in Google Drive, but last year I provided some free notes also. You can see those also. Okay. And statistical mechanics, I would say leave it. Do not do statistical mechanics. Only do one thing. What is canonical ensemble? What is grand canonical ensemble? And what is micro canonical ensemble? That's it. What are their properties? Means what in which ensemble, which physical quantities are constant? That's it. Because the questions are not coming, and even if the questions are coming, they are very tough. So if the studying 1 day or 2 day for statistical mechanics is not going to help you. It is going to waste your 2 days. Even if you study statistical mechanics for 7 days, it is going to waste your time. So do not study statistical mechanics. If you have very good command on statistical mechanics and you can revise in 1-2 days, then it's good. But if you haven't have a good command, leave it. Phase transitions you should study. Phase transitions and Clausius-Clapeyron. What is first order? What is second order phase transition? And what is Clausius-Clapeyron equation and how to use it? How it depends upon melting point of a liquid. How it changes the freezing point. This thing. And what happens in first order phase transition? What happens in second order phase transition? Things like that. Okay. So statistical mechanics you leave. Modern physics, I would say each and every topic which is mentioned in this syllabus, just very well read it. How? From where? Either using the notes or either using the book Arthur Beiser. Okay, Arthur Beiser is going to take some time and give that time if you have not studied before. And if you want it in a short, take the notes, take the course and quickly study those. But it is very important. Even the nuclear physics is very important because the questions are coming, and this year, every year modern physics is increasing, and this year also it will increase. But what happening is they are asking that more and more questions for quantum mechanics. So I would recommend, I have taken 3 lectures in quantum mechanics. You watch those lectures. In these lectures, you will get a very basic idea of how to do the in potential well, and based on those potential well, many questions are coming. And CUCT direct questions will come, potential well and harmonic oscillator. These are the 2 topics, and how to distribute the particles in these. Okay, what is the operators? Okay, what is a quantum superposition principle? What is uncertainty principle? What is wave particle duality? Okay, what is a threshold voltage for X-rays to be produced? These are the topics which are going to come. So I would suggest that very important. If you are preparing, start with modern physics. If you are preparing and your modern physics is not good, start with this. Then comes solid state physics, devices and electronics. Solid state physics, what I have seen is these topics are important but not very. Means they have the solid state syllabus, but they are putting the questions from a wide range of topics like free electron theory. So what I did is in course, what I have done is I have provided free electron theory notes also, which were I actually made for GATE students. But I saw that in CUET they are asking these questions. So all the students who are in the course, I would recommend you read those notes also. Free electron theory. Many of you haven't saw those notes, but do read free electron theory also. It is not mentioned in here, but they are putting the questions. If you see, the previous year questions and the solutions which I have provided, there are many questions which have been asked from this. But if you are not, free electron theory is not hard to understand. It's very easy. Means very simple statement. I have made very best notes for that. So please study those notes. Very best, very simply you will cover it in like 40 minutes. Entire notes will be done. It's that easy. But the questions are coming. I don't know this year it will come or not, but from last 3-4 years I have seen one question from free electron theory at least coming. Then X-ray diffraction, I think everyone knows that. Miller indices, everyone knows that. Then there is one formula chart that this is cubic. This is what do you say? There are 7 kind of crystals. What are the properties for those 7 kind of crystals? In sum A equal to B, hexagonal. Okay, what is the packing fraction of different kind of crystal? What is the packing fraction of FCC? You should know how to derive it. Also, you should know that, okay, what is the direct answer for that? You should also remember this because it will save a lot of your time in the exam. Then comes the next step. In FCC, what is first neighbor distance? What is second neighbor distance? So I would suggest you to solve all the previous year questions of IIT JAM for solid state physics and read the notes with extra notes which I am providing for free electron theory. And there is one more topic for that also I have provided. Then comes Fermi level and so on. You can leave those, and if you want, you can do. Not a very important topic. Fermi level and so on. Not very important. Semiconductors and Fermi level I am talking about. Then comes diodes. Diodes are extremely important. Not extremely important, but I would say little bit important. Especially Zener diode. What is Zener diode? There, VK Mehta you should read. What is Zener diode? How it works? Okay, what is its IV characteristics? What is the IV characteristics of diode? But not many questions from diodes are coming. Then there are topics with one topic, clipper and clampers. Leave it, entirely leave it. Then transistors come. Read very thoroughly the book VK Mehta for transistors. Read that what is the phase difference between input and output for common base, common emitter, common collector. What are these common collector means? Which of these has a maximum stability? Why we use in common collector and or why we use in common amplifier? Okay, so these kind of things are there in VK Mehta book. You should read those. Digital electronics, I think I do not need to say that it's very easy and you should definitely cover. Op-amp. No one will leave op-amp. I have also taken some online lectures. You can just watch those and your op-amp will be done. Other than that, the topics like, let me please underline: single stage amplifier, two-stage RC couple amplifier, simple oscillator, Borken conditions, sinusoidal oscillator. These topics, definitely leave it. Entirely leave this topic. You don't have to even touch these topics. Okay, do not touch these topics. It's a very huge time waste. Okay, so leave those topics. Other than this, you should all do that. And very easy. Okay, so what I am asking you to leave is statistical mechanics. Completely leave these topics. Completely leave. Okay, and if you want to leave some other topics, then I have mentioned that which are important and which are not. For example, in electromagnetism, RLC, AC, DC circuits you can leave. Not a very important thing. But this topic, which there, the Lorentz force and motion of charged particle is very important. Do not leave that all. Make sure that you do this. Lorentz force and motion of charged particle. So this was all about syllabus. Any question till now here regarding the syllabus? Then I will come to the tips.
No, bhaiya.
Anyone have any questions? Is it all clear? Yes, no, anything?
Yes, bhaiya.
To everyone, is it clear? समझ आया क्या करना है, क्या important है क्या नहीं?
Yes, bhaiya.
Okay. So moving next, there are some things which you definitely should do. Now it is not a time. Number one thing, it is not a time to see what Manipal University is doing, what this university is doing, where MSc admissions are going to open. If I do not qualify CUET, what will happen? What is my plan B? What is my plan C? What is it doing worth? Central University MSc, do not do all this. Do not ask anyone. I will not tell you that. Even no, don't ask anyone else. What is happening in NIT? Should I join NIT? If you are joining NIT, join NIT. Do not give Central University exam. Or if you are not joining NIT, just leave NIT and focus on CUET exam. It's only time to focus on CUET exam, only and only on exam, not on the results. Be prepared that you will going to fail. Have faith in yourself that I will fail. I am first time telling you this. Have faith. Be prepared for being failed. Most of you are thinking that we are failed in JAM, we failed in IIT JEE after class 12th, and this is our chance to turn the things. Okay, to actually at least have some success in our life. No, please do not put this pressure on this exam, because this exam, let me tell you, there are going to be 100 questions in 120 minutes. Even if you panicked for 10 minutes, you are going to lose a lot of things. Even in that exam, for even for 2 minutes, it came to your mind that, oh, even this exam is not going well. It's going to badly affect you. Do not expect anything from this exam. Just go and give. Just go and give. Even if you're studying less during this next 20-25 days, have a positive attitude. Because I think many a times I have seen that when you study less, it do not impact largely. Basically, when the exam is easier like this, because it actually tests your entire 3 years what you have done in your BSc. Most of the times, if you will go with the less pressure in this exam, least pressure in this exam, let me tell you, your at least 20 marks are going to increase. You are definitely going to do 5 more additional questions, which you must have leave anyway if you will go in stress. So do not put any unnecessary pressure on this exam. Okay. Have your thing in mind clear that, okay, whatever university I will get, I will join that. If I will get any central university, I will go. Do not put a pressure that I need a very high rank for BHU. I need a very high rank for JNU. I only need to go to JNU. I only need to go to BHU. This is a culture of BHU. This is that. Do not watch those videos or get attached to BHU or JNU. Just have a mind that I will go to, and even if I get a Bihar University, Central University, I will go and study there. Do not put any extra pressure. Okay. Do not try to study like that I want to achieve rank under 50, under 100, anything like that. Just think that there are going to be 100 questions in that exam, and I'm going to do that. When I said there is any question in the syllabus, no one asked about general aptitude, and it's a very bad thing. You are not aware about your own exam. There is going to be general aptitude and how to prepare for that. Number one thing I want to mention for general aptitude is that be very clear. Do all the previous year questions. Do not overstudy general aptitude. Okay. In general aptitude, only thing which I would like to ask you is only do practice. Only do practice. Do GATE last few year question papers. Either the GATE general aptitude and CUET general aptitude are quite different, but still, if you will practice last 10 year of general aptitude of GATE exams or NET exams, it is just going to bring your brain into motion that how to solve general aptitude. That's it. You can't prepare general aptitude. You cannot prepare current affairs. You can prepare, but it's not worth for you to prepare current affairs. Okay. Do not work on your English. Okay. There are going to be some English questions, but there are a lot of grammar you have to study. Do not focus on that. Just 5-6 GATE previous year papers and CUET all the papers of previous year. Solve all the questions. Have some practice of doing the questions so that you can at least have some motion. Your brain is in motion. It is in habit of doing general aptitude questions. That's it. So in exam, with what aptitude you are going, there are going to be 100 questions and 2 hours. That's it. Nothing else I know. Even if I do not get 1 mark, it's okay. I'm going to do best for all the questions. 100 questions are my game. I do only that. No BHU, no DUs. Don't even think about that. Okay. Then comes the second point. In the last 1 month, the things which should be definitely be prepared is CUET, PYQ. Okay. All the PYQs must be very well studied. All the concepts which are being used should be done. All the formulas which are being used should be written on a page which you are forgetting. That's it. Then one test series. If you do not go with the test series, at least you must have the practice of 5 to 7 tests of doing 100 questions in 2 hours. Now comes the questions how to solve this paper. Okay, So there are going to be 25 questions for general aptitude. General aptitude. So can anyone tell me how much time you should give to this? 25 questions means 25% of the exam. So should we give 30 minutes to general aptitude? No. Most of the questions in general aptitude, you are not going to do it. So you are only going to attempt 10 questions at max. So give only 15 minutes at max. 15 minutes. Skip the general aptitude questions very quickly. If you know the question, you know the question. If you don't know the question, you don't know the question. Do not waste any time on general aptitude questions. Only do 10 questions at max and only spend 15 minutes. And if you are able to solve 12, 13 questions, then you can go to 20 minutes also. But if you are only solving 10 questions, stay within 15-minute limit. Then you have left 1 hour 45 minutes. Do not do any kind of foolishness in the exam. When you see the question, there are only two things in your mind. Number one thing in mind, is this question from the topic which I have studied? Yes or no? If yes, read the question very well. If you read the question, read the options, all four options. If you think you can solve this question, try it. If you are not able to solve this question, leave it immediately. Do not spend more than enough time on that question. Sometimes you will think that if we will slow down a little bit, we can solve this question, but do not waste that time. Okay, for first 10 questions of physics, solve them little bit slowly, because in first 10 questions most of the silly mistakes happen. Solve them slowly and recheck all the four options. If you are ticking option A, make sure why B, C, D are wrong. Why B, C, D are wrong. Do in every question. If you're ticking B, make sure why A, C, D are wrong. Why are they wrong? Also put a logic for that also. Okay. And also put a logic that why I'm ticking D. Okay. Then if in the questions there are some kind of units are given, make sure you are putting the right units. Make sure whatever numerical calculation you are doing, do it slowly, so that you do not have to do it two times. Why? Because students do the calculation very fast, and then they have to do it again to check that where the went wrong. When you are doing the calculation, do it very slowly, calmly, so that in one time, in one attempt only, your entire calculation is done. Okay. And you will have 15 seconds for each question to decide whether you know this question or you don't know this question. Only 15 seconds. If you have a doubt that maybe I know, maybe I don't know, just put a mark on that and come to that question later. Do not attempt that question right away. It is not a jam exam where you see the question and you think that I can do it, then you try and then you leave. No, in this, either you know the question, either or you don't know the question. If you do not know the question, do not know the question. If you know the question, solve it right away. And if on the way you are not able to solve it, or maybe some option is confusing, you think A is correct, but you are not able to identify why D is wrong. So then also put it as a mark. In the exam paper, you will have the option to mark it as review. Okay. Then there are some questions which you think you may know and you may not know. For those questions also, you put a mark. Do not waste time on that. Then go to 100 questions immediately, as fast as you can. But make sure whenever you are putting A, after putting A, do not quickly go to next question. 15 seconds in the end, or again spend it. Means you read the paper, you chose option A, and then in the end also you read the question again and you decided that okay, A is actually correct, B, C, D is wrong for this reason. So why I'm stressing upon this, if you are going from one question to 100 questions and you are solving only means one question to 75 questions of physics, and you are only able to solve like 50 questions, 40 questions itself, for 50 questions, if those are correct, then you are going to get 160 to 200 marks, and that's enough for physics part. If you're getting 200 marks here and something like 40 marks here, it's enough. 240, 250 will give you BHU, JNU, these institute you will get. Okay. So at least whatever you are attempted, make it correct. Okay. And stay calm in the exam. If you are in the series, sometimes happen, first question you don't know, second question you don't know, third question you don't know, fourth question you don't know, fifth question you don't know. Keep skipping until unless you get an easy question and you solve that. And then two more questions you solve, three more. and then you are going to forget about last 5 questions, and then when you reach 100 questions, you will have 10-15 minutes left. Come back and then see again those questions again. On the process of going 1 to 75 questions, make sure you mark only those questions which you think you can do. If you think this is a question for statistical mechanics and I do not know a statistical mechanic at all, do not mark that question and do not come back to that question ever again. There will be at least 10 to 15 questions like that which you think that no, these questions I can never solve. So don't come to those. There should be at least 30 to 40 questions which you solve, means at least 40 to 45 which you solve in first attempt. That's it, done. You don't need to come back to those questions. So how many are left? Only 15 questions will be left. And out of these 15 questions, at least try to spend 10 minutes in end. If you will go in a series, then at least 10 minutes will be left in the end. What you do is go to these 15 questions and do not read all 15. Even if you read 5 in the end and you are able to solve 3, 4, in the end also you made 12 to 16 marks. So do not plan anything before. Just go and do your best with each question. That is my strategy in these exams. Your aim should be in first 15 seconds, I decide आता है कि नहीं आता. Can I solve this or can't I solve this? Now, if I can solve this, try to solve this. If I am stuck at this point, mark it as review. Okay. Or if I am able to solve it, okay. Option A is correct. Why BCD is wrong? Okay. You know that. Tick mark. Next question. Now, second question. I know this. No, I don't know this. I do not know this at all. Do not do anything. Move to next question. I know this. No. Maybe I know. Okay. Mark review. Next question. I know this. Yes. Solve it. Next. I don't know this. Okay. Move forward. Maybe I know. Okay. Mark it as review. So this is the strategy. So how you practice this strategy? Use the test series. Use the test series. And remember, if you are scoring, let's say my test series, if I talk about my test series, if you are scoring 180 to 200 marks in my test series, then your final marks will be 240 to 260. Definitely, 100%. If by the end of 10 tests, I have 10 tests in my test series. If by the end of 10 tests, if you are able to solve all the 100 questions, then in final exam, you will at least left 15 minutes. You will always have 15 minutes because this test series, my test series, is 10% difficult than actual test. Only 10%. So if you are practicing this, then this is going to be 10% easier and you will get that additional benefit other than everyone else. If you do one test series, there are one test series I am talking. There was one test series I saw that, but do not do very, very hard test series like jam test series. Don't start doing jam test series for CUET practice. Test series does not mean you need to solve new questions. It means how to manage 2 hours. How to manage 2 hours. How to train your brain to do those questions in 2 hours. That is the purpose of the test series. So I would recommend everyone do test series and CUET previous year questions. And then regarding the syllabus, we have discussed how you can cover that. And there are some people who ask me, can we study it in 1 month? Can we study it in 10 days? How can we study it in 1 week? Is it possible to do CUET exam in 1 day? Let's say from now on till exam, even if you have 1 day in your hand, you should try to give it your best in that 1 day also. Give that your best in 1 day also. Even if you have only 1 day, let's say something happens tomorrow and you are not able to prepare, and just before 1 day the exam you have, and you are now free and you can now focus on CUET. Even then focus on CUET and go to exam and with the full mindset. What will happen with this is, next time you will not ask this question to anyone else, can I do it? You will know it about yourself, that can I crack an exam in 20 days or not? This is a question which you have to answer for yourself by trying it. Okay. And even if you fail, trust me, more you fail, more the success stories you have. Okay. Let's say you fail today, or then what happens tomorrow when you succeed and someone calls you to give motivation, first thing you start with is the day I failed. Okay. Every success story starts with that, the day I failed. Why? because it gives a good background that I started with the failure and then I became successful. Why everyone starts with that story? Even I start with that story. Why? Because then you are actually proud of yourself. That yes, I was not born intelligent. I am made intelligent with the hard work which I have done, with the hard work which my parents have done for me, and that all things. So treat it like an exam, not plan B, plan C, plan A, plan B, the DU, BHU. Is DU worth? Even if DU is not worth, clearing this exam is worth. Okay, clearing this exam is worth. So I am very sorry that I cannot discuss about DU exam. For that, I will take a meeting on Monday because I have next session in on 6. So I can take questions till 6:10 if you have any questions. I think from my side, that's all which I want to mention. So now if you have any question, you can ask.
सर DU और CUET में कैलकुलेटर